Beloved brothers and sisters, let us join together in prayer. Grant rest to the souls of the tens of thousands who have perished in the earthquakes, which have crushed the lives of innocent women, men, and children. We ask you, O merciful and compassionate God, to grant to all who strive to provide assistance the strength and the grace to persevere in the face of incalculable adversity, and to grant to us, gathered together today here, the spirit of mutual and fraternal love and respect.
Tragedy has once again descended upon our all too fragile world. We are reminded once again that the earth-shattering catastrophe does not respect age, nor honor occupation, nor prefer identities. That national borders are simply the artifice of human ambition, and that hubris must crumble before our universal humanity.
Just this last Sunday, during his address after praying the Angelus, Pope Francis said, "Let us continue to stay close with prayer and concrete support to the earthquake victims in Syria and Turkey."
That it is about time to be united in order to respond to the immediate need of the victims of the earthquake, either in Turkey or in Syria. Thank you. شمابو وبروح يقاديشو حاضلو شاريرو. Amen. Grant us, O Lord, to rejoice always in you. Hear us, O Lord. Hear our prayers and supplications as we meet in one accord today to pray for all the victims and sufferings people of the earthquake that struck Turkiye and Syria.
We rise, O Lord, help us and redeem us for the sake of your name. As we mourn the death of countless victims of the unfathomable destructive earthquake in Turkey and Syria, we pray and ask you to grant to all who mourn the losses, O Lord, a sober, a comforted spirit.
O Lord of hosts, have mercy on us. How powerful you are to deliver us, O Lord. Destroy not all that we have raised upon the earth, that always we may glorify thee with thanksgiving.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات.
Heavenly King, Comforter, the Spirit of truth, everywhere present and filling all things, treasury of good things, and giver of life, come and dwell in us.
Every day since last Monday, we've awakened to fresh reports of incalculable loss, of unreachable victims, of orphaned babies, of blocked supply convoys, of millions made homeless on both sides of the border. It has been overwhelmingly sad every day. Again and again, and I know for everyone in this hall, our hearts are broken. But we also read and hear in these dark days of heroic rescue efforts and acts of breathtaking generosity, of Turks of the most modest means bringing homemade blankets to collection sites, of anonymous philanthropists offering vast sums to rebuild lives.
A scientist was writing about his experience of having the first cataract surgery of those persons who were born blind. And in sharing the experience, he said one boy opened his eyes and said, "Oh, how beautiful the world." And then another child opened his eyes and said, "What are all the spots?" and had to be told that they are shadows. Another girl looked at herself in the mirror and closed her eyes because that's the first time she saw herself, and she didn't appreciate her own beauty. And so the scientist concludes that it takes courage to see. And not only does it take courage to see, it takes courage to do something about what you see. And so we have to have the courage to not only see the trauma and the tragedy, the problem and the pain, we must also have the courage to see that we have an opportunity to demonstrate the love of God like never seen before. We have an opportunity to step over the guardrails of politics and religion, heritage and ethnicity, to demonstrate the love of God in a powerful way. What a message it would be to the world.
When any disaster strikes, the first thing we ask ourselves is, can we responsibly engage, or are we going to get in the way? If the answer is yes, we immediately reach out to our partners, or we try to find partners. So in the case of Turkey, we're in the midst of looking at local implementing partners. We're in discussions with local authorities, and we'll find the most appropriate way for us to respond. You know, whether it's filling the gaps as far as the immediate needs, but also kind of taking a step back and looking, can we engage in a longer term, right? Because this is going to stretch out for many years. Of the hierarchs of the Assembly of Orthodox Bishops under His Eminence ELPIDOPHOROS, you know, we're seeing a lot of people respond. And so for us, it's how do we respond responsibly? I keep coming back to the word responsible. You know, we're going to help people without discrimination. We're going to help, whether it's in Turkey, whether it's in Syria, we'll find the gap, whether it's, you know, food, whether it's grocery assistance, whether it's going to be, you know, temporary shelter, or even as far as animal feed. In some cases, as far as just getting people back on their feet, as far as being able to provide for their families. Pain is pain. Suffering is suffering. And IOCC and our partners are committed to doing everything we can to help.
His Eminence Archbishop ELPIDOPHOROS, first of all, thank you very much for organizing and leading this event. I know by heart that Your Eminence suffer the same pain as I do. Some in the audience may know this, but Turkiye is also home for Archbishop ELPIDOPHOROS, His Eminence. I know that sharing it with our compatriots, friends, and allies elevates the grief. Thank you for doing this. Dear Archbishops, bishops, reverends, rabbis, and imams, thank you very much for offering your prayers. I know many of your places of worship in Turkey were hit by this disaster. We are devastated to see Greek Orthodox, Catholic, and Protestant churches, as well as synagogues, were destroyed or damaged because of these earthquakes in Hatay and Antakya. Mother Mary Church in Hatay, Protestant Church in Hatay, the Greek Orthodox Church of Antioch, St. George Greek Orthodox Church in Hatay, the Roman Catholic Church in Iskenderun, and St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church in Iskenderun, and many others, including many mosques as well. May Allah, may Lord hear us, accept our pleas and ease this tragedy. Dear friends, thank you for coming and uniting with us and representatives of different faiths for a common cause. Ladies and gentlemen, two major earthquakes hit southern Turkey and Syria on February 6. This was a widespread disaster. It affected 10 provinces in Turkey and millions of people in both countries, namely Turkey and Syria. I would be particularly remiss if I don't say we are very sorry to have lost members of different religious communities because of the quakes, including Mr. Şol Cenudioğlu, head of the Turkish Jewish community in Antakya, and his spouse Tuna Cenudioğlu. Also includes Archbishop ELPIDOPHOROS lost family members too. His Eminence lost his family members in this earthquake as well. There are many more things that unite us as Muslims, Jews, and Christians. One common theme that drives our faiths is helping and doing good unto others. Today, I am gratified to see that all of us in this room have joined forces to help those devastated by the worst event in the region over the past 100 years. Regardless of our walks of life, we have got together to do good unto the victims of the quakes. I'm stunned and heartbroken due to this tragedy, but hopeful that we will get through these difficult times together. You are very kind organizing this and leading this multi-faith prayer. Thank you all for coming by, extending your cooperation and solidarity and sharing our sorrow due to this disastrous event. I can wholeheartedly assure you that Turkey will never forget the helping hand extended by its friends, partners, and allies in the United States. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. As we conclude this interfaith prayer service, I now invite His Eminence Archbishop ELPIDOPHOROS of America of the Greek Orthodox Archdiocese of America to share with us his own remarks and closing prayers. His Eminence knows the region very well and has been instrumental in carrying out the Orthodox response to this crisis from the USA. He has been personally affected by this crisis. Your Eminence, we look forward to listening to your words.
Dear brothers and sisters, beloved friends in the faith of Abraham, dear brothers, we are gathered here at Georgetown, this shining institution of learning in our nation's capital, to pray together, to weep together, to speak with one voice and with one heart, for the inconceivable loss of over 37,000 people, our fellow human beings, in Turkiye and in Syria. As someone born in and reared in Turkiye, where I have spent the majority of my life, I am shaken to the core by the sheer magnitude of the loss. I want to thank all of you for your prayerful and indeed loving presence here today. To feel this solidarity with all of you is a rare comfort in these days of such devastation and destruction. Our dear friend, Rabbi Arthur Schneier, from the Appeal of Conscience Foundation, wanted to be with us today too, but the travel was simply not possible for him. He is with us in spirit, and his spirit of interfaith mutuality, respect, and understanding is certainly manifest today. I will speak with him upon my return to New York and tell him of the love and the compassion that we have all witnessed here. There is no shortage of grief among all our communities, but the loss of Antakya, the ancient Antioch, where the disciples were first called Christians, is especially hard to bear, and personally for me, coming from that area, from the side of my mother, and as is already mentioned, having lost 4 members of my family. We have all been working day and night to set up the earthquake relief funds and to coordinate our responses from afar. I am especially grateful to the International Orthodox Christian Charities and the Triandafilum for their swift and effective response in both Turkiye and Syria. I cannot fail to mention the extraordinary labors of the diplomatic communities to organize and expedite relief work. You are all to be thanked again and again. This ruinous, cataclysmic event has brought us together in bonds of solidarity, which are intensified by the glimmers of hope that we see in the faces of those miracles still being pulled alive from the devastation. Like the hope left in Pandora's box from mythology, there are miraculous moments that reminds us that all is not lost. More than these rare and wondrous rescues, we see how the noble efforts to serve as many as possible is bringing together the human family, who are so often divided by religion, race, politics, nationalism, ethnophilitism, and economic disparity. We have witnessed some uplifting diplomatic collaborations. The recent visit of Nikos Dendias, the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Greece, to Turkey, and his meeting with the Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Çavuşoğlu. This marks the fraternal commitment and the solidarity of countries. This is an action prompted by a genuine spirit of compassion. It comes as no surprise that the first rescue team deployed in the region was from Greece. The humanitarian synergy between Greece, Turkey, as well as Israel is indeed a sign of hope and comfort for many. This shows good neighborly relations in those difficult days. My friends, I do not call you friends lightly. Friends, as horrible as this event is, we can see the opportunity for transformation in our shared humanity. When hands are frantically digging through rubble and debris to reach that one weak voice and lift back to life the soul trapped underneath the appalling aftermath of these quakes, no one asks which hand is Muslim or Christian or Jewish or even atheist. No one asks which nation or tribe. No one asks for motive or reason. We are just keep digging. We all have been digging down deep into our souls to make some sense of this shocking tragedy. Our hands are working together, working to bring as many back to life as possible, to give the survivors a real chance at rebuilding their lives, and to provide closure and dignity to the tens of thousands who have perished. My dear friends, my heart is broken. My heart is broken over this catastrophe. But praying with you, standing with you, embracing you today has kept that heart beating. Lord our God, You have promised that when 2 or 3 are gathered together in your name, you will grant their requests. Fulfill now, O God, our petitions for mercy, and send forth strength and comfort to all those facing this greatest of trials and tribulations. Be with the survivors and all who have endured this terrible loss. Fortify the responders and all those who offer comfort and aid. Remember, O God, all who have perished. They are in your hands now, where pain and suffering have vanished. Comfort their families and friends with insight and understanding so that they can bear this loss. And grant unto us that we may embrace one another as members of the one human family, a family that shares this planet Earth, a planet created by you, so that we may live lives of service, of benefit, and hold the welfare of strangers as dearly as our own. With a gratitude, we bow our souls before your majesty and wisdom. Amen. Thank you.
Σήμερα ενώσαμε τις προσευχές μας με εκπροσώπους όλων των θρησκειών και όλων των εκκλησιών εδώ στις Ηνωμένες Πολιτείες. Υψώσαμε τα χέρια μας στο Θεό και παρακαλέσαμε να δώσει ανακούφιση σε όσους επέζησαν από τους σεισμούς στην Αντιόχεια, στην νοτιοανατολική Τουρκία και στη βόρεια Συρία και να αναπαύσει τις ψυχές όσων χάθηκαν σε αυτή την βιβλική κυριολεκτικά καταστροφή. Υψώνοντας όμως τα χέρια μας στο Θεό και παρακαλώντας Τον, καταλάβαμε ότι δεν φτάνει μόνο αυτό, αλλά πρέπει να απλώσουμε τα χέρια μας και ο ένας προς τον άλλον, να πιαστούμε χέρι-χέρι και να εργαστούμε και να δουλέψουμε και να συμβάλλουμε όλοι μαζί, ώστε οι άνθρωποι οι οποίοι είναι πληγωμένοι, είναι βασανισμένοι, οι άνθρωποι οι οποίοι επλήγησαν από αυτή την θεομηνία να βρουν ανακούφιση. Και αυτό θα το πετύχουμε μόνο αν συνεργαστούμε όλοι μαζί, ανεξαρτήτως θρησκείας, ανεξαρτήτως εθνικής καταγωγής, διότι όταν τρέμει η γη τρέμει για όλους.
Η Ελλάδα ήταν η πρώτη που έσπευσε να προσφέρει βοήθεια στην Τουρκία. Τα ελληνικά σωστικά συνεργεία ήταν τα πρώτα που έφτασαν. Ο Έλληνας Πρωθυπουργός ήταν ο πρώτος που με tweet εξέφρασε τη συμπαράστασή του στον τουρκικό λαό για αυτή την ανίποτη τραγωδία. Είμαστε γείτονες, είμαστε άνθρωποι, ξέρουμε από σεισμούς. Σε αυτή τη στιγμή το μόνο που θέλουμε να κάνουμε είναι να συμπαρασταθούμε στον λαό της Τουρκίας, στα θύματα, στους ανθρώπους που επέζησαν, να δώσουμε κάθε δυνατή βοήθεια ώστε να μπορέσουν να ξαναστήσουν τις ζωές τους.
Thank you very much for receiving us. As you see, the earthquake hit area is the area where it's the cradle of all the religions that it started. Orthodox, Christians, Jewish people, Muslims, all living hand in hand. And unfortunately, many of them buried next to each other. The way, Greek government extended itself, we appreciate it. So it's where the neighbors are for. And in fact, the way, Greek people reacted has been very excellent. And I was particularly touched when we were loading, these packs of in-kind donation. Greek embassy here, prepared several boxes of in-kind donation. So I was particularly touched. So we can only share sorrows, and only then we can reduce our pain. Thank you very much.